All right, those of you online, we've got here in the classroom just a few of your classmates finishing up their quiz. Let me remind you that I need by Monday. Let me just say this. Some of us were starting to send stuff in like Tuesday. I've been, just these last couple weeks, I've given some grace, but it has to be in by Monday. You can't send it in to me a few days later and still get credit for it. So everyone understands that right now. If by the end of the day, Monday, I don't have it, if you send it to me Tuesday, I'm not giving you full credit for it, okay? So unless there's a reason, maybe you say I was sick on Friday or something, then you've got to let me know. But you can't just send it in whenever you want to, all right? So make sure that Monday, I need your field notes. Those need to be sent over. And your verse quiz, Romans 5:8. And again, I'm giving you quite a bit of extra credit. I'm giving you the books of the Old Testament. So write in all of those books of the Old Testament, and you will get up to 25 extra credit points. Up to 25 extra credit points. So hopefully that would be a help to you. If you have a quiz that you've done poorly on, that will help you out greatly. So make sure to take advantage of that, and that needs to be sent over to me by the end of the day, Monday, just so we are completely clear on that. Or you can bring it up to me, please, sir. All right, I believe, do I have everybody's quiz? There's always that one. Thank you. I have everybody's now. Please do check, because I don't want you to think you've given it to me, and for me not to have it. Don't want that to happen to you. All right. I think that is everybody. So here's what we're going to do. Go ahead, put away the things that you are working on right now. Go ahead and put those away. It is Friday, again, as we've already mentioned here in the classroom. This Friday, which you only have, what time do you guys get out? 11? So you got like 2 hours left. 2 hours and 13 minutes. That's not too bad. All right, 2 hours and 13 minutes left of that. And then you will have one more Friday. And then 2 weeks from today, you sleep in. So you are almost there, almost done with school. And in this class, all we have are 3 more grades. 3 more grades. Those will be next week. You will have your Bible verse quiz. That'll be on Thursday. I'll give you the verse on Monday. You will have your field notes, which will be on Friday, and you will have your Bible book quiz, which we will go over during the week. That Bible book quiz is really going to cover that book of Acts. There were several, I don't know, 3 or 4 lessons that covered the book of Acts. They're all going to come from that section right there. So that will be your Bible book quiz. So 3 more grades in this class. You guys turned in 2 of them to me today. And so let's make sure, next week, let's get all 3 of those. Get A's on all 3 of those to keep our grade where we want it to be, or to help our grade to move up where we would like it to be. But that's all you have left there. So today's Friday. Any questions that you guys would like to ask, and we'll sort of have a little discussion as long as you guys feel the need to. Yes. Good question. When Jesus died, where did he go? I will say this, there's some disagreement about that. I forget where the verse is at. There's a verse that talks about, it almost makes it sound as if Jesus went down to hell. Some people believe Jesus went down to hell and was in hell for a little bit. That's what some people believe. Some people believe he went down and sort of preached a message there, and if people believed it, then they would go to heaven. That's what some people believe. Here's what I believe. Again, the Bible does not clearly say, because there's that one verse, again, I don't remember where that's at, but go with me to the cross, right? The conversations Jesus has on the cross. Remember the conversation he has with one of the thieves on the cross that believes in him? What does he say to him? But he gives a day. Today, you will be with me in paradise. So I take it from that. Now, some people are like, well, a day with the Lord is like, all of that. But he's here on earth. I don't think when he talked to the other, I don't think he said to Peter one day, hey, I'll meet you tomorrow. And he meant 1,000 years from now. Okay, I think on earth, when he used that term, he meant the next day. And so I believe when he's saying today you will be with me in paradise, that thief died on the cross that day. How do we know that? Well, because again, a crucifixion could take a few days. I mean, this was a brutal way to die. But how do we know the thief died on the cross that day? Anybody remember? The Bible tells us they broke his legs. Remember what the reason for breaking the legs? You've got to push yourself up, pull yourself up. And if you break the legs, They no longer are able to push themselves up. Why did they have to do that? Anybody remember? So they could stop, but there was a reason they wanted to speed up this process this particular time. The Passover. Passover is coming, Sabbath is coming, and they're like, we don't want anybody on the cross during this time, so let's speed up the process. And so we know the thief died that day. I believe the Bible teaches that the moment you die, if you are a believer, you will go to heaven. Paul says this, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. So to me, I believe what Jesus was saying on that cross is he ascended to heaven. Now, again, I shared with you, there's people that maybe disagree on that, but that's what I believe the Bible teaches there. Okay, it wouldn't be, if somebody came up to me and like, no, I don't believe that happened. Again, one of the things I want you guys to understand when you ask these questions, unless the Bible is dogmatic on it, and what I mean by that, unless it is like, no, this is clearly not the case, if somebody believes a little bit differently on that, okay. Now, if you come up to me and you say, I believe that you can get to heaven through Jesus and through good works. Now we're going to have a discussion, and it's going to be a little bit more dogmatic. But we've got to make sure that we show grace, and that, well, even if somebody is wrong on something, we want to show grace. But let me say this, we don't always have to be right. As the Bible doesn't say it, my personal opinion does not always have to be right. Anyone else struggle with that because you always want to be right? Like I think that's human nature, right? You want to be right. Some of you, you know you're wrong during a conversation and you still won't give in because you're not going to give that satisfaction to your sibling that they are right and you are wrong. So even though you know you're wrong, you're like, no, 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 you know. And so we just got to be careful of that. But that's what I believe. I believe he did ascend up into heaven during that time just because of that conversation he had with the thief on the cross. Good question. Anybody else? Yeah. It's a great question. Great question. If God knew Adam and Eve were going to sin, why even create them in the first place? This is where, in our mind, and we could use this in a lot of different areas, right? We believe in there's a term called the sovereignty of God. Anybody know what that term means? Maybe you've heard it before. It's one of those, again, sometimes people like to use big words to make it sound like, I guess, more official. But sovereignty of God, anybody know what that means? Here's what it means. God knows everything that's going to happen. And he's in control of everything. Let me give you a more modern example than just Adam and Eve. If God knew what Hitler was going to do, why have him born? I mean, why? You could go through many different people in history and ask that same question. So here's where it becomes confusing, because for me and you, here's what we try to do at all costs: avoid problems. And the way we avoid problems is by not giving people a choice in an issue. We don't want people to have a choice, because if they have a choice, their choice may go against what we want. God created man with a free will. So here's where it's hard for me to understand. How do I have a free will, but God already knows what I'm going to do? That's hard to understand, but that's what the Bible teaches. Just like you have a free will. Each one of us have done things that go against what God would want us to do. Just be honest. We have. But God still gives us the choice. Here's an important statement. God gives you, you can make any choice that you want, but you can never choose the consequences of your choice. And that's something important for you. You can make a choice. Listen, you can make the choice today to go rob a bank. It's your choice. But you don't get to choose how long you will stay in jail for that choice. That will be somebody else's. You can make a choice to slap somebody in the face today. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can make that choice. Some of you are like looking around the room like, yeah, that's the person right there. That's who. I would not recommend that, but you can make that choice. You just don't get to choose how long you may be suspended because of that choice. So God gave Adam and Eve a choice. They had that choice in the garden. They just didn't get to choose the consequences of that choice. So the same goes for us now. That again, it's hard for us to understand because we're involving the free will of man, God giving a choice. Because why did God create man with a choice? Because he did not want us just to be basically robots. Think about it. If you create man without a choice, then they have to love you. Well, that's not really love. They have to do what you say because they have no choice against going against what you say. And so again, maybe in our minds, I think in a lot of our minds, we would do things differently than God. Like, we would be like, hey, if Adam and Eve are going to sin, then let me create, let's see, who's somebody with a B? Bob? What's a girl's name? Bob and Brianna. Okay, let's create Bob and Brianna. We'll get rid of Adam and Eve and give me Bob and Brianna, and they will do better than Adam and Eve, right? That's sort of our thought. Like I mean, come on, okay, sin came into this earth, lightning bolt, earth is gone. I'll put another one there in its place. All he's got to do is speak, and it happens. But that's not God's plan. It would maybe be ours, but it's not God's. And by the way, just think how bad your plans would be if you were God. I mean, let's just be honest. We would be, anybody does anything that we don't like, we're getting rid of them right away. We're like, God's ways are not our ways. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. We've got to know that. And when it comes to these areas like, God, why did this necessarily happen? We just got to trust him. But the free will of man, the sovereignty of God, is one of those things that it's hard to put in perspective. But they're both true characteristics. All right, anyone else? Yes, sir. There's no biblical basis for that. Can you wait till after class? All right, thank you. Yes. What happened at the garden after they left? Okay, so they leave the Garden of Eden. We don't know how large the Garden of Eden was. We don't know any of those details. They leave the Garden of Eden. What the Bible says is there was an angel that was placed there. Now, this is the terminology that is used basically to make sure that nobody enters the Garden of Eden. Now, the Garden of Eden today, and this is, again, the Bible doesn't say specifically, so there's different. Some people believe that the Garden of Eden was basically, it was there until after the flood, and then the flood destroyed it. Some people believe God just sort of got rid of it before that, but he made sure that nobody else went into that garden. And that, by the way, is the modern day area of Mesopotamia. You're talking like Iraq area, over in that area there is now, well, there's disagreement on that as well. Israel believes that it was over in that area, which I don't quite understand because the Bible says it's in between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, but there's a little bit of disagreement, but I believe it's more modern day Iraq, which, by the way, you think about it, when you think about the Garden of Eden, what do you think about? I think about a beautiful place. And trees, different things like that. I don't think about that when I think about Iraq today. Like, that's not the picture that comes to my mind. So clearly time has changed what has gone on there. But all the Bible says is that when they were cast out of the garden, God put an angel there to make sure nobody came into the garden, and I believe at this point the garden is no longer there. I tend to lean towards that during the flood it was just destroyed, but again, it could have been before that or something along those lines. Yes, sir. Yeah, where did Noah land his ark? Mount Ararat. There's actually, there's some interesting things. You can go online. I remember watching this video. It fascinated me when I was in junior high. It was a VHS, if you even know what those are. VHS tape, and we watched it in. I don't remember if it was Bible. It was probably Bible class. Watched it, but it was like the search for Noah's Ark or something like that. And there's some interesting discussion on that. They have video of I think during World War II reconnaissance planes, and they were flying over, and there's like some pictures that sort of look like a boat type formation up at the top there. Now, of course, you're talking about a very tall mountain. This mountain right now is actually inaccessible because of where it is at. I forget which country it's in, but they will not let anybody go up there. So some people believe it is still there. To me, here's what I believe. I don't believe that you're ever going to find it. You're talking about something that was thousands of years ago, made out of wood. Now, what they were trying to say from this is that it got frozen up there, and that's how it's still. And if you to go up there today, you wouldn't see it, but they believe maybe like a crevice, it fell down. I don't know. To me, it's interesting stuff. We know that, well, and we're not all the way sure that that's Mount Ararat. We believe that's where Mount Ararat would be because, again, remember, they don't have maps like what they have today telling us exactly where these locations are. So we believe that would be the location of Mount Ararat, but I mean, I to me the chances of that being there, I don't know. I think it's possible that Noah, once they got off the boat, there's a lot of wood right there. What do they need to? They're going to start building houses and things like that. Maybe they took some of that wood to begin building houses. I don't know, but it's interesting. You guys can look up different things and see and find out for yourself. Anyone else? I'm always interested in, like, I guess you can't call them conspiracy theories or something like that, but different narratives on things, and so that sort of interests me to try to find where. I highly doubt you will ever find that, but that's what some people believe. And the picture actually is pretty interesting. It does look like a sort of like a boat type, very large boat type structure that was up there. But again, it looks almost like a shadow type thing. So, and we're talking about pictures taken in the 1940s, so camera technology not nearly what it is today. So, but that's what some people believe there. All right, good question. Yes, sir. Job. Job. Let me find the right verse for you. I believe it's Job, actually. Let me make sure. Job 41. And Job 41:1. This is when God is talking to Job and saying, basically, remember, I think we talked about this. Job asked the question why. God never answers the question why. God answers the question of who. What is he trying to say? He goes through all these different scenarios and says, Job, I was in control of this. Can you do this? And this is what he asked. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with a hook? What is he saying here? It's like, can you have a fishing pole and bring out this huge creature? Now, sometimes some people believe it was like more like fishing, or just even just trying to bring them out of, like, putting a hook and trying to drag them out. There's different opinions on that, but basically it's this huge. Many people believe we're talking about a dinosaur, and could God saying, this beast right here you have no control over. You'll never have any control over, but I do. And he's trying to show Job that he is in control and Job does not have control. But yeah, it mentions it right there in Job 41:1. Any other questions? Yeah. There wouldn't be anybody to teach him. Were they like the Neanderthal men that are like projected today or something like that? I mean, he named all the animals. He's created perfect. I don't believe he's created dumb. I think, um, I mean, I guess we know how to add something. I mean, I don't know. I, 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 I don't know if he knew basic math. I mean, it's a good question. I've never thought about it before, but we know that they weren't created as babies. We know that. Um, do we know the amount of knowledge that they necessarily had? I don't. Again, I don't think they were stupid, like they didn't know anything. I don't know if they knew, like, how to find the area of an object. I don't know if that was something that was, like, came to their mind. Um, I don't know. Like, did they know how to build every? Yeah, I don't know. I've never really thought about it. I would certainly say they were not like. You guys have seen, like, Geico used to do these commercials, right? So easy, even a caveman can do it, or something like that. Where because some evolutionary thought has to go to the first man was like barely a man. Okay, it was like they barely knew how to talk. They were just like making these sounds, different things like that. I don't believe that is Adam at all. But the amount of knowledge he had on certain things, I don't know. Can we make sure to stay turned around? We don't want to stare at the person behind us. All right. Any other questions? Yes, sir. What's that? What was he described as? It just there's another part where it mentions Leviathan. Let me check on that. Let me check on that and look at for it. Right here is just mentioned as a huge animal type thing, but there is another part. I don't know if it's. Let me check on that. Okay, but I believe just what the word Leviathan means, like the terminology, is what they've associated with that. But let me check so I can give you a good answer because I'm not all the way sure off the top of my head. Yes. It says it will be on your forehead or on your like your hand. Um, it mentions numbers 666. Okay. Now, what does that exactly mean? People throughout history have, because especially when you get to Revelation, because the Bible is not like exactly specific on what it is, people are like, today, if you get the vaccine, you're taking the mark of the beast. That is not the truth. All right, that's not the truth. But I mean, people throughout history, people have believed at one point it was like a tattoo you would have on the. Here's what we know about the mark of the beast. You will need it to do any business, and it seems to lead you to believe that they'll be able to track you from this. Okay. Again, I'm just throwing out. The Bible doesn't say. I really think it is something involved with a chip type thing. Because think about what is one of the greatest threats right now to people is identity theft. Right? You lose your car, your parents lose their credit card, it's stolen. Um, if it's in their hand, that's a little bit tougher to steal. Okay, so I believe. Think about even now, credit cards, right? When your parents go somewhere, they either have the chip they put in, or how many of your parents you've seen them? They just put it right against the thing, right? They just put it right against the thing, pays for it, they walk out. You put it right against the thing, pays for it. I mean, I'm not. I don't know. That's all we know is that it will have something to do with numbers, and you will have to have it to do business. Now, for a long time, people thought it had to be like they would basically check your forehead. Do you have the mark right there? Okay, now we'll sell to you. I think it means there will be a one world currency, which the Bible does talk about, and it will all go through that mark right there. So you wouldn't be able to go to the store. I mean, think about it, even right now, money. You go to the store, what do they talk about? A coin shortage. They don't really want you using cash. We're moving faster and faster toward a cashless society. And eventually I think they'll be like, hey, it'll be easier. Everybody has the same currency. So I think it's somewhere along those lines, but all the Bible says about it is you'll have to have it to do business. It'll be in your forehead or in your hand, and it leads you to believe that you'll be able to track through it. So personally, that's what I believe. But again, who knows? Jesus may not come back for 200 more years, and I believe he'll come back sooner, but it could be that by then there may be something different. So I don't know, but yeah, that's all we know about it for sure. Yes. Yeah, no, not really. Like as far as aliens or something like that, is that what you're going down? Or I mean, it talks about. I believe it mentions other like stars, different things like that, but I don't think it really goes in. I'll check on that. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a fascinating. Here's something I've thought about. Why did God go through the trouble of creating all these galaxies so far away? You know, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things we don't really know about that, but it doesn't. I'll check for sure. Off the top of my head, I don't really know of any mention of it. Okay. One last one. I think we got to go here in a minute. Yes. Well, Jewish is a came from the family of Abraham, which every race or every nationality, everything goes back to Adam and Eve, right? So, are you asking like what did they look like? I would assume, now again, there's no pictures to verify this, all right, but I would assume probably somebody, how a Middle Eastern person would look. That's what I would assume, but I don't know, all right, but that would be my assumption. All right, guys, you can be dismissed. You are now down to 1 hour and 50 minutes remaining. Almost there. Well, it's 40 minutes.
Now, good morning, DLs. Good morning, class. Before we start in our notes, if you are going tonight to the formal, then you need to have the Morongo permission slip. It needs to get turned in either at the office or to me right now. If you don't have it, then you need to make sure that you do have it by when you come back at 2 o'clock. Because I think it's going to be no paper, no boardy.
That's Predator Guardians. Where?
But aren't you on here someplace?
Yeah.
This should be fine.
Shut up.
Okay, have a seat, guys. Okay. Okay, lesson 137 today. Shh. Here it comes. Here comes the 6th time. Please be quiet. Did you come for these?
I can take this.
Okay.
And I'm gonna stay here a minute and just look around, make sure everybody's here.
No, but I'm just looking around. I don't see. Oh, Jasmine's here. Yeah, everybody's here.
Everybody is?
Mhm.
That's amazing. We gotta have events more often. We got everybody here.
Yeah.
22 is what we get. Right?
Destiny, Jaden, come up here where you're supposed to be, please. Oh, Emma's not here.
Yeah, well, she's out of town still.
Yeah, that's the only one.
And Mia Bell, of course, is distance learner.
Right, and so is Jezreel and Emily.
Jezreel, where are you, Jezreel? There you are. And then who is it?
Emily,
Which is right here, Valdez.
yeah, Valdez, yeah.
Okay, and then Emma Moriel is gone.
Right.
Okay, so that takes away 4 people, so we have 23. Is that what we got?
At least I know how to wear matching socks.
Two. They're 26, because someone left. Who was it? Ariel or no?
He said no, no, good job.
Maybe, well, let's see. We got Mike is here, right?
Yep.
Eliana's here.
Yep. Kayla's here. Yep.
Jose's here, right?
Yep.
Jose was here.
Yeah.
And then Tyler's here. I saw him.
Yep. He's here.
And Erica.
Yep.
And Joey, I saw him in the
Uh-huh.
somewhere.
Jessica's here. Or Jasmine and Natalie.
Destiny is here.
Yep. Chase is here.
Ariana.
Mhm.
Elias. Or Lex, I mean.
Elias, yeah.
Brianna.
Yeah.
Aaron, I know I saw him. Cheyenne's here.
Uh-huh.
Bella.
Yep.
Jason.
Yep.
Jaden.
Jaden's here.
Hudson.
Yep.
Avery. Oh, Avery's in the
That's
classroom.
why. That's why. Yeah. That's
Okay,
why.
that makes sense. And then we got him.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was. Avery throwing me off.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Yep. No problem. Have you found out what's happening at 12:45 or whatever it is? 12:30?
Well, 6th grade, I still have you going to 6th grade. Is that what
Okay.
you're asking?
Yeah.
But I
So-
don't know. You can
so
touch base with Hannah as far as what she
Is
has
it her?
for 'em.
Okay.
Because Hannah's, that would be her subjects. It's like history and reading or something. That's
Okay.
I don't remember if there's 2 subjects or 3.
Okay.
And then there's an afternoon break in there. So it's like history, reading, afternoon break or something.
Okay. I'll
Just
check.
with her.
I'll check with her.
Yeah, but 12:40.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like I saw you throw it or anything.
Okay. Charts available. Pin is loaded. Ready to go. Okay. Thank you. Okay, we got a lot to do, guys, today and next week, okay? To at least finish this chapter, which is what I like to do. I'm not so worried about the test. I'm just more worried about getting the chapter done at this point. Okay? So, cooperation is of the essence. DLs, the reason I was making an announcement about the sheets, if you're planning to come back at 2 o'clock and go on the formal tonight, then you need to make sure that you bring your Morongo permission slip along with the school's permission slip for that. If you didn't get that, then make sure that your parents are here to get that signed when they drop you off, okay? So just in case. Okay. Lesson 137. Here we go. They put the clicker in here. Okay. Mr. Moyer. Okay, we're going to forego the quiz today, but let's just answer them together. Small chunks of rock or metal debris left in space from meteoroids and comets are meteoroids. Okay, you guys said false. Meteoroids that travel through the atmosphere as a glowing light are called shooting stars. Okay, so we have a mixture there. Tyler, never mind. 3. A small rock from space that is burning up as it passes through Earth's atmosphere is called a meteoroid. Okay. Number 4. Hang on. Never know if it's some student that's calling me. Don't need to comment. That's what causes the problems, guys. Okay. Number 4. Meteors that land on the Earth's surface are called meteorites. Okay. Number 5. The cause of a meteor shower is that the Earth passes through a meteoroid stream. Let's see what you got. It's called a meteor shower. Okay, the following people need to go up to the office or up to the office for the well. Okay. Erica, Bella, Jonathan, Hudson, Amethyst, Avery, and Uvia, but you're not here, so.
Want me to tell them? Of course you're gonna get
No, because I think that they got the message over there too. I'll just go double check. Be right back, guys.
An account of a lot of things about Alexander's life.
Did you get the message about the well? Or not? Amethyst, Avery, and Uvia need to go up.
Really now?
Okay.
Wait, right now?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. To the office. Yeah, like you? Okay. Now, see that? This is what I told Cody earlier. Deals, I'm going to interrupt you just for a minute. You don't need to hear this. We're back. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm not going to tell you what it was about, so don't worry about it. None of your beeswax. Okay? Okay. Oops. Now I got to go over here. Okay. Moving on. A review. What is a stony or metallic object that orbits the sun and does not have a spherical shape? Asteroid. Good job, Tyler. What is a large ring of asteroids located between the orbit of Mars and Jupiter? Okay. What is an asteroid-sized object that is made of rock and frozen materials? Good job, Aaron. What is the heart of a comet called? Nucleus. Hat off. What is the cloud of dust and gas and dust formed around the nucleus of a comet called? Coma. What is the highly reflective streamer of dust particles and gas emitted from a comet? The tail. Good. Here we are. The comet's course. It's got to obey the laws of nature. It's got to obey what God has established. What Sir Isaac Newton has discovered. What these scientists have discovered about our universe. Everything out there has to obey those laws. Okay? The simplest thing is a comet. It's got to follow the same orbital laws as the planets do. Okay? If it doesn't, they're going to be constantly flying into everything. Give me the bag. They're constantly going to be flying into everything and having collisions out there that they don't need to have. Okay? And this is how God is keeping everything in its proper way. They have a more elongated orbit than the planets. Elongated means you're more oval shaped. Or another term that we would normally, another term we use would be egg shaped. Okay? But they're more oval shaped versus sphere. John? Same orbital laws as the planets. Yes, ma'am. I'm not sure. Yes. But weren't you out there before class? Okay, letter B, elongated orbits. Letter number 6. The period of a comet may be from only a few years to several thousands of years. Okay, not millions. Okay. Short-term comet. It has a period shorter than 200 years. That's like your Halley's Comet, every 76 years. Okay? Short-term. Less than 200. Okay? Letter B. Long-term. More than 200 or longer than 200 years. And you have the Enix comet. This is the shortest recorded period of 3 years and 4 months. And then you have the Hale-Bopp comet. It's one of the longest. This is the 4,000 years. Now look at these. These are, like I said right at the beginning, they are not millions of years in coming. Okay? Yes, sir. Hale-Bopp? Hale Bop or any of them? Hale Bop? I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Everybody done? Number 6? Okay. Number 7. We're not playing basketball. A Comet belt. Like the Cooper belt. Okay. This is just a group of small icy objects that orbit the sun outside the orbit of almost or our outermost planets. Okay. The Cooper belt. Okay. Your meteoroids. Space debris. These are just small chunks of rocks or metal debris left in space from asteroids and comets. Okay, but they are out there. Comets will collide with each other. Okay, asteroids will collide with each other, thus forming all the little rocks out there. But even though the big ones collide, make little ones, those little ones are still classified as the space debris. The meteoroids and asteroids and all that. Okay, so they are still there. It's just the size has changed. They're the same debris. They're still made of the rock or the metal that they started out originally had as they were big. Okay, size of the meteoroids range in size, form, that should be from microscopic specks of dust to giant boulders. Now again, that's because of the collisions that they occur out there in space, and the more collisions that they have, the smaller obviously they're going to get. Okay. One thing about meteoroids though, in their size, okay. Yes, John. It would probably blow up the volcano for one. Okay. And then probably would in some form melt. Probably. Because they're made out of rock and metal debris. Okay. One thing about a meteoroid size is that it's smaller than your asteroids. Shh. Okay. Meteoroids are on top of the screen. Asteroids are on the bottom, so just by the pictures themselves shows you a difference in size. Okay. Number 3, the texture of them. Some have a coarse outer surface, while others have a smooth appearance. Okay. Probably the more collisions that occur, the more coarse it's going to be, the more rocky surface. Okay. But they also have a smooth one. So, okay. Number 4. The composition of a meteor is either metallic or it's rocky. It's interesting that how I could step on a Cheeto up here. And I didn't take one out of the bag. Interesting. Okay. And it's burning the carpet right now because it's so hot. Number, what? Because I ended up taking their bag for one thing. But I don't know, I didn't drop it. Not that I know of. But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. It could have fallen out when I was pulling it up here or putting it up here. So it could have fallen out right here.
Wait, you're just saying
Okay.
that I got there.
Okay. Number 4. The composition, like I said, is metallic or rocky. Number 5, we have what's called the shooting stars. Okay? They travel through the atmosphere as a glowing light. Okay? Can these happen during the daytime? Sure. But you just don't see them. Or you don't see them as easily. Okay? You might still see them, but generally at night is when you really see them. Okay? Now, in the shooting stars category, we have what's called a meteor. This is a small rock from space that is burning up as it passes through the Earth's atmosphere. Okay, a meteor. Okay, letter B. A meteoroid stream is the tail of the meteor as it's coming through. What's it made of? It's the burning off, or it's the breaking off of the rock of the meteor as it's coming through, and so it's forming the dust particles, and so that's what you're seeing coming through the atmosphere, the tail of it, you're seeing the stream. If you look close enough at the very beginning of it, you will see these like bright dots in the sky. That's the nucleus of that meteor. Yes, sir.
What was it?
Meteor. Okay. Letter C. A meteor shower. This is the falling of meteors as the Earth passes through a meteoroid stream. So instead of just one, it's going to have lots of them falling through the sky. Okay? Number 6. So what causes it? Well, the Earth is just passing through that meteor stream. Okay? And that's why you see a group of them coming down. Okay? We just had a crash landing. Were you sleeping? I just did. Number 7? Okay, number 6? Sorry, DLs. Hopefully I didn't startle you. They were so intent that I knew I could get them this time. Okay. Okay, so we do have this crash landing. These are the meteorites that hit the Earth, the surface of the Earth. Okay. Now, here are some pictures of various meteorites that have fallen. Okay. That's what they are. Is huge rocks. Okay. Yes.
I knew that.
So you can kind of see there's various sizes. One down there, one down on the right is in the palm of a hand, so that's what, 6 inches wide, maybe. Okay. The other ones are boulders. Okay. But that gives you the size. Now see, some of them are smooth on the side or smoother. Some of them are rough and ragged or jagged like rocks are. Okay. A little closer look at this. the fireballs in space. Sometimes you'll see this happening. Shh. Okay? This is what's called a fireball, an extremely bright meteor that can be observed over a much larger portion of the Earth than an ordinary meteor. Okay? Looks like a missile. Shh. Looks like a missile. This is probably going to cause fire to occur. Now, meteorites, when they come in, they're radioactive because they're coming through the space. Okay? They're gathering that radioactive material or degrees, and they are radioactive when they come in. A bolide is a fireball that explodes in midair. Okay?
It looks like a UFO.
Looks like a plane. That's
The one on the right looks like a UFO.
like one on the right looks like a plane.
Okay. Now, that's called a bolide. Now, you do have about 10 minutes left. I'm not going to go into lesson 138, which I probably should, but I'm not. Quiet, for the benefit of tonight. Okay? But there is homework, but I'm going to give you a break. But be prepared. This homework, I'll give it to you to do on Tuesday. Okay? Even though you have the weekend, I'll be gracious. 10.4 on Tuesday. We'll do open book on 32 on Monday. But be prepared for 10.5 on Monday. Okay? So you judge what you need to do. Okay? So, DLs, hopefully you caught that. 10.4 is due Tuesday, but possibly 10.5 on Monday's coming up. Quiz 32 is open book on Monday. Okay? DLs, have a great weekend. Enjoy your time. Look at the skies. See if you can see any meteoroids or meteorites coming through. Meteors coming through. Okay? Have a great day. See ya. Yes.
All right, so we're on page 16 in our vocab books, reviewing for our test, not quiz. Test, list 24 and 25. Okay, so let's do number 1, audacious. Bold, daring, adventurous. Number 2, bland. Ingratiatingly pleasant. Number 3, countenance. Number 4, deteriorate. Number 5, emanate. Number 6, engraft. Number 7, genial. Cordial, not cordial. Okay, cordial. Number 8, invariable. Number 9, precipitous. Number 10, vigilant. Good. With spelling list number 24, make sure you're also looking after some more commonly misspelled words and different things like that. So make sure you're setting it number 18 and 19, than and then. Something might confuse you guys. Fictitious, number 8. Inevitable, number 10. Pamphlets, it's not with an F, it's with a PH. Okay, so make sure you guys are looking at that. Prejudice, number 14, studying those. And then list 25, go ahead and look over that. Actually, girls, is list 24 different with vocab? I can't remember. Good? Okay. List 25, okay? Let's go through the vocab words and then with the definitions, okay? Number 1, courier. Number 2, doting. Number 3, erratic. Stop. Number 4, fledgling. Number 5, novel. Number 6, permissible. Number 7, pervade. Number 8, reconnoiter. Number 9, surly. Number 10, whim. Okay, let's try that again. It's capricious. Okay, whim. Freakish idea. Okay, make sure you guys are studying that. Again, that will be on Tuesday. That's 24 and 25. Okay, also with your spelling words, parliament, but it's pronounced parliament. Know the differences between personnel and personnel. Okay, and then you should be good. What are you doing? Stop being a distraction. Okay, shh. All right. We're going to go take our adjective quiz now. Again, we don't have any literature today because we gave all that we need to know for our test, which will be on Thursday. So make sure you're still... Huh? Oh, yeah. Okay. The wreck of the Hesperus. I did say to.
I feel like we've already gone over it, though.
It's fine. Shh. All right, we'll take our adjective quiz. For those of you in distant learning, make sure you turn this in by the end of the day. It was sent out. That needs to be turned in by today. Since we have formal today, make sure you turn that in. Okay?